A Christian street preacher has been paid £4,000 plus costs by Cumbria Police in settlement of a claim for being wrongfully arrested and detained for 6 hours. Dale McAlpine of Workington, Cumbria, was approached by 3 police officers in Kendal Town Centre in July 2018. He was arrested and taken to Kendal Police Station, where he was held for questioning. After being released without bail, he was left in limbo for 6 months until the police eventually notified him that he would not be prosecuted. The Christian Institute supported Mr McAlpine in a claim against Cumbria Police for wrongful arrest and false imprisonment. Cumbria opted to settle his claim without going to court. Dale, welcome to the Christian Institute. Thanks very much for coming in to speak to us. Wrongfully arrested, detained by the police for something like 6 hours, stuck in a cell. It all sounds pretty traumatic.
Yeah, very traumatic and very surreal, and I'm very thankful that the end result is good.
So how were you feeling when all this was going on?
At the time when you're faced with the arrest, it's very anxious, fearful experience.
Because you're out preaching, like you do that an awful lot, and somebody complained about some of the things that you were saying. What was it you'd been preaching?
I was preaching my Christian beliefs straight from the Bible, the good news of Jesus Christ that everyone needs to listen to and receive. It's a message of love, and I was preaching it publicly, audibly, so everyone could hear within range.
So you're preaching what everybody would recognise to be the Christian gospel. Now, the police didn't admit liability, but they did pay you £4,000 plus costs. How are you feeling? You must be feeling pretty relieved.
Yeah, very relieved, very thankful that they've admitted they did something wrong that day, and I'm very thankful that we still have laws to protect our freedom of expression. But it's not just about me, it's about freedom of expression for everyone, and that the police learn and lessons from this.
You plan to donate the money to the Christian Institute, thank you. Why do you want to do that?
Well, it's a wonderful organisation. I'm very thankful that we have the Christian Institute to protect our religious liberties. So I'm very happy to support that work.
Well, thank you. But you've been a street preacher for getting on for 15 years, and you've travelled all around the UK to share the gospel. And this isn't the first time you've been in this sort of situation, is it? Because nearly 10 years ago, the Christian Institute was able to help you in a very similar situation, also with Cumbria Police.
Yeah, I was arrested in my hometown of Workington. A PCSO had took umbrage with what I'd said about the sin of homosexuality, and I was surrounded by 5 uniformed police officers and arrested for around 7 hours.
We've actually got footage from when that arrest took place. Should we take a look?
I spoke to the officer earlier, and he was upset that I was saying homosexuality was a sin, which is what the Bible says. And I affirm that's what I say, because that's in the Bible, you know. And there's no law. There's no law.
Well, there is.
No, it isn't.
There is. Unfortunately, mate, to preach the subject.
Yeah, offending people. Well, it actually is. We wouldn't do that if it was against the law, you know. It isn't. But what about
mate, we're pretty straight. You're under arrest for racially aggravated Section 5 public order offence. You don't have to say anything, but remain harming defence. If you don't mention one question, which will let rely in court, and you do say maybe you need evidence.
Fair enough.
And I should say that there's a fuller version of that available on our website. Now, that was in April 2010. Did you find things improved after that?
Yeah, things have improved greatly. By and large, the police are wonderful in most cities we go to. We've wonderful free speech. They protect our free speech. They know the law. Like I say, by and large, the police couldn't be more helpful.
But there was that incident in June of last year when you were told to leave Bath City Centre or face arrest.
Yeah, myself and a number of other street preachers spent the day in Bath preaching, and were approached by police who told us that they would arrest us if we didn't leave.
And you did leave?
We left.
But that had a happy ending as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We returned this year after the Christian Institute were involved, and the police couldn't be more helpful. They were wonderful, really.
And that good experience wasn't limited to Bath, was it? Because you had similar experience with police in, I think, Lincoln and elsewhere. Yeah,
Lincoln was wonderful too. The police there were superb in how they exercised their duty, and Cambridge and Oxford's always really good.
Now, some might say that with all these incidents, it's you who must be doing something wrong, what would you say to them?
Well, I'm out there most weeks, so I do quite a lot.
Always preaching the gospel?
Always preaching the same message, the good news, and I do it quite a lot. So these cases are few and far between in relation to the number of times I'm out there.
And would you say that their times have changed in as much as the belief that if someone does take offence, that they feel that they have the right to get the police involved? Do you find that more these days, though?
Yeah, it's certainly on the increase. The public seem to have gotten hold of this idea that if they call the police when they hear something they don't like, the police will remove the person saying it.
But your experience as well has been that, by and large, the police and police officers and police forces are in fact very supportive. Would you say they recognise that people have the freedom to disagree?
Yeah, definitely. The police are far more aware now of free speech laws. My motive for going out there is not to offend anyone, to upset anyone unnecessarily, but to preach to everyone in the hope that they receive the free gift of eternal life. And I do it regularly, and I'll keep on doing it until I'm unable.
Great. Dale, thanks very much for coming in. It's been a pleasure having you. If you're a Christian and experience difficulty because of a stand that you have taken on an issue of biblical concern, please get in touch with the Christian Institute, where you may be able to help.